Hello, everybody. It is October 6th, 2016. I'm here with special guest host, Wayne Steiger. Hi, Wayne.
Hi, Steve.
Thank you for coming over from the Wayne Steiger channel. And in the last video that I made, that we made over here at WSO Central, we put out a basically a call for everybody to come look at your stuff because you are uncovering some really amazing and, quite frankly, mind-bending imagery.
Yeah, that's a good descriptor.
Okay, and guys, I'm here. Before I let Wayne take the con here, I just need to warn you that the content that we're going to be looking at could shake your worldview. Now, I'm not asking you to completely buy into everything we say. I think you should research everything yourself. But the corroboration of what Wayne has been uncovering and what we've been hearing out of other places in the community seemed to come together to say that there is something of a cosmic size and nature going on in our solar system. I mean, is that a good start, Wayne?
I would say so. Yeah, absolutely.
And there are people that claim to know the intentions of the warring factions and how this technology basically works. And the only thing that Wayne and I can hope to do today is to show you some of the things that we've learned so that you can take the research further and also help us to understand. Have you seen testimonies out there that talk about any military whistleblowers or anybody in the defense industry that have talked about any of this stuff? Send an email to olson.steven.d@gmail.com and we'll contact you from a different source. But I want to know more about this, Wayne, because there are no explanations in my current world, in my current Judeo-Christian kind of a more amalgamation worldview that will explain anything I'm going to see here today with you, Wayne.
Yeah, and I think that that's one of the things that, as you so often bring out about cosmic disconnect, and we have to, well, I think the evidence speaks for itself, Steve. So let's let the viewers make their own decisions, but it is going to cause you to have to think and question, I think.
That's what the channel's about, Wayne.
So can you see this? Can you see this screen here?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay.
It looks great.
Okay, so just so point of reference, this is SECCHI. So you can see this was in August. Lot of controversy, and I'm just going to tell everyone right here, I think we now know why they did this. Understand there is no logical reason whatsoever to have a section of a very expensive telescope and camera system obscured. And Steve, we know the controversy that has erupted over here. However, I think why this spacecraft was sent out there was not merely to observe the outer and the inner solar system at all, Steve. I believe that it has now been confirmed by multiple sources. Many of those sources who no longer have to fear retribution of our government have made full disclosure. There have been others, such as people as Yellow Rose for Texas, who began to understand this a number of years ago, and others who have suffered tremendous persecution from the Christian community, I think from a lot of religions. And they have suffered tremendous ridicule because it broke, just as you said earlier, the Judeo-Christian theology and eschatology. So what we have here, folks, is this, Steve. As you know, this was the video that I put out a couple of days ago. I did a detailed analysis of this. And Steve, I'm just curious, what's your... You've had a chance to look at it. What's your take on what was actually uncovered here? And I'm going to let your audience see this. We'll speed this up a little bit.
Yes. Well, first of all, I'm going to say that Venus is a much faster moving planet than to just sit there in the middle of a frame for a whole month. Number one.
Yeah,
So
that's your first problem, right? Like,
well, that's your problem right there.
Exactly.
Number two, the emergence and the obvious attack on the concept of the spacecraft and the shield now clearly showing that it's participating in some kind of a. Now listen, guys, I was trained in electronics by the United States Air Force. I did that as my second career. After I got out of the intelligence community, I went into the Air National Guard and I started working on A-10s because I was sick of all that other stuff. I just wanted to do an Air Force job, And so, anyway, I know what cathodes and anodes are, and what we've got here, it almost seems like, is a huge and just classic charging up of the difference of potential between an anode and a cathode, and then a release of energy. And yes, that's the first thing that occurred to me, Wayne, from my background in electronics.
I think you're spot on. I come from the video industry, the post-production side. And so give me your thought on this right here. Well, you and I were talking about this yesterday, the Birkeland current. Give me some insight on this. I thought you had some really good points bringing out of what is it that we're seeing here?
Okay, so we're seeing such a difference of potential between 2 points somewhere off the screen that it's causing a what's called a Birkeland current, which is seeing the visible tendrils of plasma around a current of energy. And just think of it as like all of a sudden the energy is so intense going down the middle of that rope, if you will, that inducted energy comes out as plasma in a rope like structure. Okay. And that's what a Birkeland current is, as far as I can understand, and you guys can correct me if I've missed anything in that, but it is such an intense amount of energy that it causes that rope of plasma around the current.
Would we have a north-south polarity involved?
You have to.
Okay, all right. So I want everyone to remember what Steve just said, because we're about to show something as to where this is connecting. Because if I'm correct, Steve, in order to have this current, right, the thought is that it has to have a contact point because it can't go off into infinity, correct?
That's correct. It would have to also have some type of a, if you will, just for lack of a better definition, an anode and a cathode, in order to get that Birkeland effect of current around that current. Think of it as like a huge stream of water, but the energy in that stream is so great that it's causing plasma to come out, right? So you have to have a north and south polarity or a difference of potential in order for that to occur.
Thank you. Now, that helps me because as a layman, I can now visualize that basically I have to have a north connecting point in the south, right? In essence.
Correct. And remember, this is one of those relative things too, just like life. Any difference of potential could create a current. It doesn't have to be three-dimensional energy, I guess.
Okay, thank you. So everyone, you just saw a blast, and I believe we're going to break something here for everyone really to chew on, Steve. You just saw what happened. It completely overwhelmed the camera, the protons, the ions. This had to be supercharged. We're now seeing again, Steve, the wedge. Many people said it looked like it was pointed. I think it was pointed right at us. I think it was actually pointed at this shield. Steve, as you observed, this shield is taking energy right there. It just took a huge hit. And look at the residual effect of this weapon. And I do believe there's another one fired right there. I do believe this is a weapon, Steve. I believe as well there is a ship, an object, planet size, sitting right out here. And I'm going to stop this because I'm going to tell you folks, I believe that our solar system, and there are many people that have been inside the government that are now blowing the whistle on our government. Steve, we are not of our own ways anymore. Steve, this is a sphere. It is a beyond our technology, but I do believe, sir, that this is, and look how Mercury is responding to this, but I want to show you something. Look at that, Steve. That's as big as our universe. And here is the sphere.
You mean solar system, Wayne? Because if it was the universe, I mean, I could,
Yeah.
You meant solar system,
it's
right?
our solar system is what I believe that we're actually capturing here. It is huge. It's beyond our understanding. I will say this, your viewers should go and check out William Tompkins. He has a book that's out there. The guy has been checked out. And Steve, I believe this is what SECCHI was sent out for.
Well, this brings up a lot of directions that we could go from here, Wayne, of course. So let's try to focus on, oh my gosh, my friend.
Now come on, folks. This, folks, is not a camera aberration. It is picking up a spear. This one is encapsulation. And in fact, Steve, go to Yellow Rose for Texas website, go to the Planetary Shield video, and you will understand what's happened. We actually saw this weapon being fired, or this shield actually in development. We saw it take energy from our sun to fuel it. There it is right there.
Yeah, and we are getting similar types of, as you're going to show us again. I'd like you just to walk us through a couple days of footage so we can see some of these anomalies that we've been just seeing just recently.
Yeah, so just for everyone's sake, you can go into this video, go over there. It's a detailed study of this, Steve. I believe that these weapons are immense. I think that, look at that. This defies the laws of nature. In the physical laws of our universe, you cannot have this type of symmetry coming from, quote unquote, a sun.
Sun, right?
It cannot be a coronal mass ejection. We've seen those.
Yep.
So, let's go to, and I have to get over there. Yeah, I think here it is. Let's go to here. All right. So here's October. I think let's refresh this.
October.
Can you believe that the year is almost out?
I know, but the reason I'm excited about October, because remember I've been recording the South Macquarie Island Station for the Australian, mission to Antarctica.
Mm-hmm.
And we have that, again, another Birkeland current being viewed from that station. And I'm hopeful that we'll get hopefully we'll get something here that corroborates.
Yeah. So here's the one just here from the 2nd of this month. And I want to explain something to you, Steve. This is what also makes this, it's bizarre. Look at the density of the star field. And when you look at it compared to this picture, which was on August 2nd, look at the difference. So I don't quite understand why this. And I've told you the theory that we're spinning faster than the Milky Way is. I'm not quite buying that, my friend. So let's go back up here.
I don't think we can spin faster. No, I mean, in terms of our ability to perceive the background moving, it should be much slower than that, is what I'm saying.
So here's our object, I think that we witnessed last month a battle. And I'm curious to see what this month is going to entail. So let's go to one more, and then I'll turn this back over to you. I want to get this blue star field.
Yeah, just why don't you just go ahead and show October, and then folks can just know that, you know, hey, this is the raw footage that you gather when we're looking at. This is not anything other than just us going to their site and pulling it down.
And hello, guys.
So
you know what? Let me give a big call out to the Navy. We really busted their chops at the beginning of this, and I have to apologize to you guys. Yeah. Hey, listen, they're not hiding anything. I have my hats off to these dudes and dudettes that they're not hiding this. Now, I will say this. I have caught missing frames. All right. I can dig that. I mean, listen, these cats know as well as we do. They're watching a battle taking place. And ladies and gentlemen, you just have to accept it. I mean, you can go and try to rationalize around it, but this is what's taking place.
Right. Again, I want to second that, because I was in the military. I know there are good people in the military. And again, I don't care what the trolls say about this. I am hoping in my heart that, again, this is evidence of the good people. I would say that I was going to just ask you, why would they let us see this? And it's because there's people that say, look, you know, regardless of what these upper-ups say about hiding this and hiding that, they do know what their mission is, and they're supposed to put this up on an internet for us to look at.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. God bless them, each and every one of them. So, Steve, to our point, how can we have this and then have a wedge coming at us? It doesn't make sense. Look at this. The dispersion ratio of the highly charged particles becomes very evident as it begins further distance from the star. And then let me go back and pull up the video that we were looking at. And, you know, you can really tell a person who is definitely overboard. Hold on a second.
We have here.
We've got me talking, in which we don't. So
I can only take one of you talking at a time.
Hey, you ought to have to live with my wife. She literally tells me, I've had enough. I don't want to hear anymore. So here we go. Here is our weapon. Let's get it into where everyone can really see it. I love this light spectrum, by the way. Look at that. So how does that happen? I mean, seriously.
Right, the natural coronal ejection. By the way, and it's much wider than what it seemed like well, maybe it's the size of the sun, I guess, but the point is that usually a coronal mass ejection is exactly what you showed on that first couple of frames, where it's like this big flaming, you know, ever-expanding energy field kind of thing. And here we've got a cone of energy that's almost seems like it's being a steered energy pulse of great magnitude. Of great magnitude. Yeah, this is on a scale that we can not even imagine.
Look at that. And you know what, Steve? Here's the point. It happened 5 times over a 2-day period. Each one of these blasts can last anywhere from 2 up to 12 hours. This is an intense field. I actually caught the rings. Look at that one right there. Is that just it defies the laws of natural physics?
No, actually it works right along physics, my friend. We are looking at electromagnetic energy on a scale that is unbelievable. It's absolutely right along physics.
So, Steve, let me go back into my archives.
And I didn't mean to take issue with you. I just want to say that from a physics standpoint, that's the most basic physics. Difference of potential, anode, cathode, energy results. You know what I mean?
It makes perfect sense to me.
It made perfect sense to me when they taught it to me in the United States Air Force Radio School down in Keesler Air Force Base, Mississippi.
I'm trying to find, because I actually captured some of these. Here we go. I think this is it right here. Yeah. Steve, this was the smoking gun. This is when I began to realize that this is artificial in nature. And if you'll focus in right here, look at the waves.
Wow, the waves, right? Somebody had told us to look at the waves. One of those mystery writers, you know, in the email, look at the waves.
Look at the waves, and this is incredible. I even caught, Steve, the ship that I think, or the object from where this actually was coming from.
Unbelievable. Really? Are you, wait a second, time out. You're saying that you think you've caught the object where the parachute, or
Yes.
parachute bomb came from?
Yeah, where it originated over here. So by the way, look at what our little friend is doing. Okay, let me expand this one out.
This is a friendly call out to our friend Ben Davidson, who I appreciate all your work and think you're a wonderful human being. You try your best, and I get it. But please, please, Ben, don't tell your listeners and ultimately our listeners that this is a camera anomaly here, okay, my friend? I really think that insults everybody's intelligence a little bit, and I say that with the most grace that I possibly can say.
Look at our shield here. And look what's happening over here. There's nothing to cause a reaction over here. Nothing. There's nothing, Steve. There's no reason for this baffle to be reacting to anything.
Right,
but it is.
It's because it's a baffle on the camera, I thought. There wouldn't be anything. Yeah.
Look at here. Look at the connection. And look what's coming up behind. We can see that the shield is truly reacting to whatever. And let me now pull this out for everybody so you can see. Oh, here's one. This is the second salvo.
You are freaking me out, bro. You're freaking me out.
Look at this. Look at the waves here. Now, pay attention right here, ladies and gentlemen, because this is where this is originating from. And when I caught this thing, I went, what in the, look at that, Steve. And you can see what's happening here. As these waves are beginning to form, it forms right in here. It's already having a reaction across. Look at that. Boom!
That is amazing and wild and freaked out, and on every level, that human being that knows what they're looking at now, which is high energy electrons, protons, and, you know, in general, ions. And this is, for us to see this would be, this is all energy, by the way, guys. Everything you're seeing, maybe except for that planet in the middle, quote unquote, is energy.
Yeah. Look at this, Steve, the intensity of the waves. Now, here's something. As you know, as you have a concussion wave that would go out, the natural force of nature is for it to be circular, right? This is not natural. And you can see the intensity of, which is represented here by the different shades of the energy field. And it's clearly, if this is Venus or if this is Earth, whatever this is, we're taking it. We're taking a hit. And
Wayne?
Yeah?
Wayne, it's shaped like a chevron.
Wow. You're right. Look at that. Okay. Nothing to see here, ladies and gentlemen.
Please move along.
Now,
really?
There it is. I caught it right there. And let me go back so everyone can see it. I got it in 2 frames. I started noticing, and I'll have to blow this up right here, and I want you to pay attention to this little object right there.
Okay.
So I said, okay, look at this. There it is. You see the ball? And you can see it's right directly. I think this is reaction, could be plasma, whatever we're seeing. And you can begin to clearly see now these waves and how they break down. Steve, this is no aberration of the camera. This is no aberration of anything, but I think we're seeing some pretty outstanding technology, my friend.
I think we are too. And again, I so appreciate you sharing your research with us, Wayne, today. I think this is a good place to stop because I think this is plenty for people to consider right now. Yeah. I encourage everybody to go out and research what Wayne suggested earlier on. I'll leave a link to your channel, Wayne, so folks can come over and take a look at your research. But this is shaking. And again, guys, listen to me now. Wayne, I know you'll agree.
Yep.
If your faith can't take a shaking, then should you have it? Good. Have a good afternoon, everybody.
And we have to, well, I think the evidence speaks for itself, Steve. So let's let the viewers make their own decisions, but it is going to cause you to have to think and question, I think.
That's what the channel's about, Wayne.
So can you see this? Can you see this screen here?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay.
It looks great.
Okay, so just so point of reference, this is SECCHI. So you can see this was in August. Lot of controversy.
Okay. And guys, I'm here, before I let Wayne take the con here, I just need to warn you that the content that we're going to be looking at could shake your worldview. Now, I'm not asking you to completely buy into everything we say. I think you should research everything yourself. But the corroboration of what Wayne has been uncovering and what we've been hearing out of other places in the community seemed to come together to say that there's something about any military whistleblowers or anybody in the defense industry that have talked about any of this stuff. Send an email to olson.stephen.d@gmail.com and we'll contact you from a different source. But I want to know more about this, Wayne, because there are no explanations in my current world, in my current Judeo-Christian kind of a more amalgamation worldview that will explain anything I'm going to see here today with you, Wayne.
Yeah, and I think that that's one of the things that, as you so often bring out about cosmic disconnect.
Hello, everybody. It is October 6th, 2016. I'm here with special guest host, Wayne Steiger. Hi, Wayne.
Hi, Steve.
Thank you for coming over from the Wayne Steiger channel. And in the last video that I made, that we made over here at WSO Central, we put out a basically a call for everybody to come look at your stuff because you are uncovering some really amazing and, quite frankly, mind-bending imagery.
Yeah, I that's a good descriptor.
Cosmic size and nature going on in our solar system. I mean, is that a good start, Wayne?
I would say so, yeah, absolutely.
And there are people that claim to know the intentions of the warring factions and how this technology basically works. And the only thing that Wayne and I can hope to do today is to show you some of the things that we've learned so that you can take the research further and also help us to understand, have you seen testimonies out there that talk